Hi Leo, I hope you guys are doing great today. My name is Jackie. Welcome to my channel. Welcome back to those of you who've been here before. Welcome to those who you've never been here before. Welcome, welcome. So this is going to be for Leo, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus for the last 2 weeks of December. I am time stamping, guys, below because I am starting with astrology first. I'm going to start with the solar eclipse that we have, a couple of things going on that we need to talk about, which house it's hitting. So that'll be for about 10 minutes. But if you're not interested in that, no offense taken, go right straight to the tarot. It is indicated in the timestamp. You're also going to see at the end, I'm going to be pulling a reading for those Leos who are in a committed relationship right now. And I'm going to have the timestamp for that, as well as Leos who are in a complicated situation with a significant other right now. So the timestamps for all of that is going to be below. Okay, so let's get right into what is really going on. I'm not going to mention everything, okay, but I'm going to mention what I feel is definitely the most important for all of us to be working with right now. We have the sun is in Capricorn on December 21st, and we have to understand what this means, because this is very important as far as how we're going to be viewing, how we're going to roll out what it is that we want for our life right now. So Capricorn wants tangible results. Capricorn knows what's feasible and what's not, and is most comfortable working within an established framework, knowing boundaries and limits, and just really working towards a long-term goal. And that energy is really most satisfying, and because there's a sense of organization within it. Right? We're all going to be feeling this. We're going to feel this supportive energy of helping us to become more organized. It's, especially if for those of us who maybe are not, naturally predisposed to be organized individuals. So this is a really great energy for us in that way. But now on December 26th, we have the new moon solar eclipse in Capricorn happening. And it is the 26th, but depending on where in the world you live, it might end up being the 25th for you. But it's happening on Thursday the 26th. You have 4 degrees and 7 minutes of Capricorn. Now the effects of this are going to be felt for up to, I'm going to say past the following 6-month period, just because of the power of this particular eclipse axis. But this is ruled by Saturn, right? Understand that Capricorn is ruled by Saturn. And what's Saturn? Saturn is the great taskmaster. Saturn is the slow-moving old man up in the sky who's forcing us to become better than who we are right now. But it's slow. I'm moving my hands like that. It's slow. Like Saturn works very slow and very meticulously. And Capricorn is a very meticulous sign, the hardest working sign, right? So we have this energy there that's going to be pushing us to really look at our public life. Like if any of us who are involved in any way, shape, or form with the public, okay, anything having to do with your career, your reputation, your achievement, your accountability, these are all very, very strong focuses for all of us, because that's what we're talking about when we talk about Capricorn with this Saturn energy. This eclipse is all about new beginnings regarding these matters, but also now, Leo, for you, it's your 6th house. So what's your 6th house? Is career, work, your health, your daily routines. Think about it mostly as your daily routine. Like you get up, you brush your teeth, what do? You get dressed, you go to work. So in that way, it's like it has to do with your career. What are you doing with your everyday? And this is about becoming more conscious of what you do in your everyday. How very, very much about your health having to do with body-mind connection. You're taking care of yourself. This is about, paying attention to what you're eating. Are you working out? Are you, how are you taking care of your mind? How are you being treated in work? How are you feeling from one day to the next? Do you wake up feeling exhausted because you just don't want to face the day ahead of you? Do you wake up feeling pretty excited about, tapping into the, the parts of your life, focusing really at this point about what needs to be changed, because this eclipse is about new beginnings regarding all of these things, okay? So this is a time for setting practical, attainable goals, working on developing maturity and a common sense regarding all of these things, considering the future and preparing for it, and focusing on very concrete ways of developing self-discipline and self-mastery here, Leo. Finding ways to give satisfying form to wishes, you know? It's making those commitments, recognizing responsibilities, and accepting that, you know, that we're all very limited, really, in what we could do. It's really about understanding our limits and knowing ourselves. It's very Pollyanna and romantic to say we're all unlimited, but within the confines of reality on a day-to-day, right, a Monday through Sunday kind of thing, there are certain confines that we have to work within our frame of reality, right? And this is about you getting very real with that. And ironically, like, these limitations do truly set us free to explore deeper dimensions of experience by offering us a more secure foundation and nurturing our dreams in a realistic fashion, like what we really want for ourselves. Because Capricorn energy is all about being very realistic. Capricorns are very realistic, very practical. So Capricorn teaches us that recognizing these limitations actually frees us to focus on what really matters, you know, where we are, who we are, and where we want to go. And with this very potent energy, and this is really potent energy with this solar eclipse, and it's a partial, guys. So partial solar eclipse means, for a total eclipse means everything is wiped out. There's a lot of change. There's like absolute endings to things, absolute endings. Partials aren't like that so much. Partials go in and they push you to drop off certain things so that new ideas can come in. This is about transformation and progressing forward in what's there already. That part, that total part, happened a few months ago. And now we're here for the total part. All right, so now we have the chance to make the important changes in the areas of our life that we started to make changes in, you know, a few months ago. And this moon cycle is going to last, it's way beyond what it is. It really is. It's going to definitely through to the summer until the next axis hits, which is going to be Sagittarius and Gemini. We'll talk about that when that comes. But for some of us, circumstances are such that we need to pay more attention to all the matters that I mentioned. So having to do with all of your daily routines and all that means, your career, your reputation, all of that, okay? All of that needs to be looked at. So, you know, you have to identify the flaws in your life system right now. Is you're going to be pushed to recognize this so that you can redo something, start fresh. Something ends in order for something else to start fresh, though, but not in a big, grand, sweeping way. Like, you just have to make these changes. So we might be called to give something up in order to move forward into a new chapter of our lives. So, you know, on a very mundane level, having to do with where it's going to be hitting you. If we're going to talk about your health and your daily routines, maybe it's a matter of you needing to change up your workout routine or start working out in the first place and stop procrastinating, or changing the way you eat, or changing the way that you do your job. Maybe even transferring to a different department or staying within the same career and getting a new job, a different job. You know, for those of you who have some sort of public persona, changing the way you handle your presentations, changing, you know, making changes and upgrades and all of that. You know, really getting very deeply connected to the mind-body connection. You know, if you're not already. So these are just some examples of, you know, of what's going to be happening, and you're going to feel prompted to do that. And this is all very positive, though, because this eclipse point itself is aligned with Jupiter, and it forms a beautiful trine to Uranus, and we like trines. And there's going to be a real sense of excitement here with this progression, and it is going to be progression, Leo. There's going to be progress, there's going to be growth, there's going to be improvement and relief. A relief with this improvement, because there's going to be a release of something that hasn't been serving you up to this point. So lots of developments in any other areas of your chart as well that have Capricorn. So you want to check your chart. If you have Capricorn, maybe in your moon sign, your rising, your Venus, your Mercury, or any of your house placements, you know, for sure, definitely check. I mean, if Capricorn's your rising, then it's your first house placement. Lots of changes there, guys, for sure. If it's, you know, in your 7th house placement, that has to do with relationships, So it's in your fifth. It has to do with, you know, how you have fun, and, you know, it has to do with love and romance. So see where else Capricorn might be hitting, especially the first 1 to 15 degrees, the first decan and a half. It's going to be the most powerful. But I want you guys to think back to 4 different 2-year periods that I'm going to present to you. Okay, I did mention these, like, I don't know, 6, 7, 8 months ago. I don't even know when I started my channel, but that was kind of like in the thick of the most challenging and sticky parts of this Cancer Capricorn eclipse for many people. Now, you guys are in cardinal signs, so you might not have felt it as strongly as maybe the cardinal signs, but maybe people in your life who are Aries, you know, Cancer, Libra, or Capricorn, you know, really feeling those energies mostly, or if you have those other placements. But I want you to think back to, if you're old enough, think back to 1981 to 1983, think back to 1990 to 1992, then think back to 2000 to 2002, and then think back 2009 to 2011. Okay, and think about the changes that were going on in your life back then, because we all were, because that was the past 4 times that this axis was active. And as I mentioned, you know, back whatever it was, six months ago, whatever it was, that was the stickiest part of where something was being changed, in the painful part. This part that we're entering into, this is the part where the presents come. So this is the good part of this axis, which is why it's worth talking about. And it's worth talking about because it's very important that we keep our energy open and we don't dig our heels in and refuse to make any of the changes that we're being called to make. All right, it's really, really important, Leo, okay? And that's why I'm actually making this video on my phone, because I can film for longer. This is going to be a longer video, which is why I did the timestamp, because the regular camera I use, it taps out at 30 minutes. So I wanted the opportunity to be able to explain this, because it is really, really important for all the signs to understand where this is going to be heading, because we want the gifts to come in, right? Okay, so let's get into pulling your crowning energy. So this is going to be primarily for the last 2 weeks of December 2019. Can you guys believe it? Unbelievable. Crazy. Not only that 2019 is over, but that the decade is over. It's like I blinked. Honestly, it feels like the decade began like 3 years ago to me. Messages for Leo for the last 2 weeks. Any messages, any advice that Leo needs to understand? Messages for Leo. Ooh, I like that. In the world, not of the world. This is really nice, considering you have the 6th house affected. So this is like, Leo, it's safe for you to become naked with life. This doesn't mean you take your clothes off and run down the street, but it means stripping back your beliefs, belief systems, your strongholds, your mental and emotional security blankets, so that you can live with less obstruction than you have been. Just think about the conditioning that has kept life away from you and kept dropping out of your hands, you know, like keys or coins or something that you're trying to hold on to. You know, your conditioned beliefs about money, about time, about security, about having, you know, holding, controlling. All of this can be surrendered and allowed to fall away right now. This energy really wants you to do that, you know. Maybe there would be a softening in your way with life, an implicit trust in its flow and faith, and the ability to actually bend and stretch as needed, so that what you really want to do, can be accomplished. You know, it really is, though, and just so you know, it really is at an advanced stage of your spiritual relationship with life that you're able to feel held within this idea sufficiently enough to surrender your defenses layer by layer. This is very much a peeling back energy, as it's tough to give up and really revisit the way we've been conditioned to believe and think, right? It really is. It's tough. But this comes really wanting you to understand that we need our defenses, of course. At other times, it's clear we're outgrowing them. And there's something that you've outgrown, Leo. It has to do with your ideas about Something to do with productivity, time, control, money, any of these things. It has to do with abundance and trust and living with the fundamental belief that everything's going to turn out okay, and you don't need to hyper-focus and micromanage absolutely everything. It's like you're ready to be much more vulnerable and exposed in life, and you don't have to hide behind being organized or perfect or in control or financially secure or stable. You know, you don't need any of that acceptable, like holding up that social face, you know what I mean? It's time for you to loosen the strings of your own controlling nature, really. I mean, they're just too tight, too restricted for you anyway. You were born to live in a much freer way, man. You're a Leo. You're a Leo. When you live as you innately are, rather than how you've been conditioned to be, you're going to experience a much deeper happis and a deeper freedom, a deeper sense of freedom within yourself. When you're not resisting yourself or resisting life, there is less resisting what you need as it comes to you. So I really like this, because you are being stripped of internal beliefs that have been failing you. Internally, maybe even externally as well. And I really like this. Again, going back to that 6th house placement that you guys are going to be feeling all of this change in. It's about a shedding. There's a shedding happening here. You guys are shedding, Leo. You're letting go. Yeah. Yep. And it's with that letting go that there's kind of like this temporary emptiness. So you need to know that provides a greater space, though, for fulfillment to come forth. So, I mean, that's absolutely beautiful. Yeah. All right. Let's pull some general energies for Leo, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus for the last 2 weeks of December 2019. We're going to be doing some interpretations for relationship, for career, for family and friend situations, because not everybody is in a relationship, not everyone has a career, and not everybody has family or is close with their family enough to even bother seeking tarot about, right? All in different places, different parts, different journeys. Spirit messages. Situation right now, High Priestess reverse. Lost by the Fool. 9 of Cups energy is crowning, beautiful. Foundation is 2 of Pentacles, reverse. Your past is the 3 of Wands. Thinking about where you're going. Nice. Your future is the Lover's card. Justice reverse is you right now. 10 of Cups reverse is external influence. Strength card in reverse is your final outcome. All right, so we're going to pull energies and get some clarification, but let's get right into this. So we have the the High Priestess reverse as the foundation right now, which tells me that you're in a situation where you're not tuned into your intuition in the way that you're supposed to be. This could indicate some sort of self-deception, Leo. There's something that you're not being really honest with yourself about. Listen, don't beat yourself up. We all do it. And a lot of times we don't even realize we're doing it. So you're being called here to really sit down quietly and honestly with yourself and ask yourself if you're being really honest about a person or a situation that you're involved with. This could be an intimate relationship. This could be your job, your position at work. This could be a family member. And this could be a friend. But you're not listening to your intuition, and you're not being honest with yourself. You're not being honest. And we have the Fool energy is what's crossing the situation. So I'm getting that there's this wanting to actually take this leap forward with this person or the situation, but you're not looking at everything. Okay? You're not looking at everything when you do this, because the Fool really is about having this willingness to start this new cycle. It's a beautiful energy. I love the Fool, because the Fool's all the tarot cards all in one, and there's this willingness to start something new. But you're starting something new from a space of not being fully tuned into your intuition, not being really honest with yourself about a person or a situation. So for those of you in a relationship, this could be that Either you're in a relationship maybe you're in a relationship right now and you guys are entering a new cycle. Actually, guys, we all are. I mean, I don't know what I'm saying. We're all entering a new cycle within all of our relationships. This is a global kind of thing right now just because of the energy that's happening, which is natural, right? It's the ebb and flow of life. There's always these cycles, right? And I feel like you're going into this next cycle with somebody and you're not being fully honest with yourself about the reality of them. Now, this could be also if you're in a career and you're entering this next cycle within your career and you're kind of choosing not to see everything. There's something that you're not seeing or that you're not being really honest with yourself about, okay? So we have the Nine of Cups. This is why this is pretty clear to me. The Nine of Cups energy is a beautiful energy. It's about wish fulfillment, and this is crowning you. So you really want to take this chance with this person or this situation, you know, this position within your job, whatever it is, because you feel like it's going to bring you closer to where you want to go. It's about wish fulfillment is about having an idea and really seeing it come to life. And you believe that your connection with this person or this situation is actually going to make that happen for you. So you apply that however you see fit. If it has to do with a relationship and your ultimate attainment here is to maybe live with the person or maybe get married or just have this life partner, you feel it happening and able to happen with this person. But I'm getting that there's something that you're not seeing about them or the situation, and you're turning a blind eye to. Okay, for others of you, this could certainly be it having to do with something in work where you know something is a little off and they're promising you a whole lot and you really want to go down this path with this job, but there's something that you're turning a blind eye to, but you're willing to take the chance. Now in your foundation, we have the Two of Pentacles energy in reverse. This is confusion. This is where I say, I think deep down, there is a level of honesty within yourself saying, you know I want to move forward with this situation, but I'm really confused, and you taking a minute. And so should I do this or should I do that? And look at the waters behind it. It's your emotions. They're coming in and they're going. So it's like, you see? It's like the waves are kind of lapping in. So that gives a feeling of, you know what you want one minute and then you're not sure what you want the next. And it's this feeling of, do I want to go on that path or do I want to go on this path? Should I stay with this person or should I go? I really feel so much love for this person, but I feel like I'm not going to ultimately have really what I need in reality. It's like in the moment I'm acting like I feel like, yeah, everything's going to end up great, but this little voice inside of me is telling me that maybe I'm not seeing everything, right? That deep voice within you. Right? That could be with a relationship, or it could be I'm with this person, but I've fallen out of love with them, and should I be with this other person? You know, and I just feel a stronger connection. So a level of confliction there, or it could certainly have to do with a job. Should I take this job? Should I take the other job? Should I stay in this job, or should I just venture on a whole new path? Because at the end of the day, I'm feeling within the pit of my stomach that this situation is not ultimately going to bring me what I'm really looking for, you know? And this is all coming on the heels of you really understanding that you have the whole world in front of you. Three of Wands energy is a passion energy about recognizing that life is right ahead of you and you wanting to run out and grab it. You want to grab life, Leo. You want to grab it. You want happiness for yourself. You see what's on the horizon for yourself. So you're in this situation where it's like you're seeing what could be the potential on the horizon, and then you're looking at your reality, and you're identifying what's not lining up. But I'm getting, Leo, that a lot of you are still staying in a situation. There's this willingness to still stay in this situation, even though this voice in your belly is telling you not to. So I feel like a lot of you are in this situation right now, really kind of playing, what you envision in your mind's eye for yourself and the reality of your situation. So let's see, representing you right now is the Justice reverse. So this tells me that many of you are feeling like there's an area in your life where you're being treated very unfairly and not respectfully. I mean, you could be doing this to someone else as well. It's a major arcana, and the energies can always be flip-flop with these general messages. Most of you guys know that, right? So you apply it how you see fit. But as representing you, This is justice reverse. This is what's in your heart right now. So you really do feel like something is just like amiss. Either you are actively not treating someone else very fairly, Leo, or someone is not treating you fairly. And there's a sense of disrespect here. There's a sense of disrespect. Now, I'm going to say it really doesn't matter whether it's you doing this to somebody or them doing it to you for the sake of the reading. It's the external energy is the Ten of Cups reverse as an external energy. So this tells me that external to you, there is a closing off of a shutting down of emotions. So if this has to do with a relationship, you are identifying that you are not being treated in the respectful way that you really desire, that you wish, and that you should be. You might be doing this to someone else within the relationship. Now, if you're the one who's treating somebody disrespectfully, they have shut down on you. If you're the one who's being treated disrespectfully because of this person, you're shutting down. But there's a shutting down. There's a shutting down here of emotions. And your fear is the Six of Pentacles reverse. And the Six of Pentacles is the card of support. So your fear is feeling unsupported and not having what you need, because the Six of Pentacles is also having what you need financially as well as emotionally, physically, and mentally. And in the reverse, it's not having those things, and this is in your fear position. So I feel like many of you are afraid to make a change that you might need to make, be it in career or be it within relationship, because you're afraid on the other side of that, you're simply not going to have what you need. So, I mean, obviously, if it has to do with a career, you don't walk in and just quit. I mean, maybe you have to, but, you know, that is not the advice here. The recognition is that you don't just go in and break up with somebody just out of nowhere if that's the space you're in. But this is the recognition that you're not getting what you need. And this is, you're afraid of this. You're afraid of, okay, what I'm in right now might not be great, but I'm afraid if I end it, what's on the other side is even worse, if that makes sense, is what I'm feeling you guys feel. And then this is, Leo, why? This is you in reverse, not feeling your strength, not living in your strength. This is ego. Strength reverse is an ego run amok, being way too entrenched in ego here. Yeah, I mean, too involved in the ego, too stuck to your own ways, too stuck in your own ways. But remember, you have to be in the world, not of the world. You need to release that. You need to release that. Leo, you know I love reversals, right? I know I'm like a weirdo like that. I love reversals because it really draws our attention to what we need to focus on, because we're energetic beings. We have free will. It's not like anything but us is making this be in reverse. We have the power to turn this upright. But you have to figure out where are you digging too tight into your ego. You could very well be dealing with somebody else's ego for sure as well right now. But then we need some information, because this is the outcome, right? But then this is your near future. So also, guys, just for those of you who aren't sure, the Lovers card originally, when Tarot was I'm not going to get into the history of Tarot, but originally the Lovers was actually a partner where we have the soul connection. It's not, you know, just intimate. This could also be a family member. This could also be a good friend, a colleague, an employer, employee, where we have this same focus that we both feel passionate about, that we want to work towards. So it could be an intimate relationship, a friendship, a family connection, or a job, right? Just so you guys understand that. It's been morphed into this over time, okay? But, you know, but maybe that's because of what they titled it in the first place, Lovers. It's not, you don't think lovers, you don't think your colleagues, for goodness sake. Well, I don't anyway, but, we need some information on how we got from strength reverse is the outcome to the lover's energy. And I love the lover's energy because it is a very realistic energy. It's a very realistic energy. It's recognizing that there are issues and there are fissures in the foundation of what's in reality within this connection. There are issues, and there's a recognition of that and a willingness to work through them with the blessing of Archangel Raphael and the Sun. And it's a beautiful kind of thing where temperance can happen, where you guys are listening to each other's needs and you're going to work through. And it's a slow process, and it's going to be slow, especially with this Capricorn, Saturn, Pluto thing going on right up in the sky. It's going to be slow, but it's going to be really beautiful, actually, for many of you. So let's get some backstory here. What happened? How did Leo go from strength reverse, dealing with an ego run amok, either within themselves or someone else, and then ending up in the lover's energy? Let's get some information on how that's happening. Beautiful. Okay. Okay. Perfect. And there we have it. All right, so first of all, Leo, you were with somebody who there was a long-term commitment here. I mean, the Empress energy is the mother of the tarot, and this is all about cultivating, beginning, and growing things together, like long-term, okay? Long-term. But what ended up happening is, you guys fell out of sync with what you each needed. Because the temperance energy is all about, it's an alchemical process, what I mentioned before. It's like recognizing what you need, what they need, and then separately, what the relationship needs. So if this has to do with a career, this is you having been in a job where you really thought there was going to be a lot of growth, literally, right? I mean, the Empress is about, birthing something and growth, right? Expansion. You really thought you were going to be able to expand, but then you realized that actually this career was not actually giving you what you needed. And what you needed was not being made available to you for you to actually grow within it. So whether it be a relationship or whether it be a career, the growth was not happening because there was not this compromise and there wasn't this recognition of what everybody needs. So it ended up creating a tower moment. There was an ending here, Leo. You guys had an ending here. There was a definitive tower moment where there was a stripping down of the foundation of all that was. And it was something that you at one time really trusted and counted upon. It was very painful. Very painful. So for some of you, I am feeling that if it had to do with a career, you actually left a career that you actually, really loved and wanted and grew in. And there was an ending to it. Okay, for others of you, if this has to do with relationships, the relationship ended as it was. But I do feel like the tower here is the type of thing where absolutely everything was stripped down and you guys tried like hell to rebuild it. But I feel like you guys were trying like blind, trying to grab like this, blindfolded, trying to grab this piece of rubble and that piece of rubble to try to rebuild it. And it was just kind of like always ending up in the cycle of not working. Because the tower, like the death card, like the sword energies, they mean the ending of something. And this is a major arcana. It is more profound than, say, like the Ten of Swords energy, those of you who know the tarot. But, I always say this is tarot, people, right? This is not like more than that. You understand? Tarot is an energetic tool. It's for us to understand the energies of what's happening and what's available to us. But as energetic beings and having free will, if everyone is on board and everyone really wants a new beginning, there is no reason why the tower can't be rebuilt. But more often than not, we really need to step back, understand what it means to wipe the decks clean. And a lot of times it's going to require some external assistance, particularly if it has to do with relationships. Right? This really is more relevant for relationship as far as the rebuilding. As far as career, it does require rebuilding, but typically in a new sector or a new position. Okay? So we go from that ending, and that, of course, is an ending. So there's a walking away and an acceptance, because the Eight of Cups is really an acceptance of, my heart is there, but I need to leave that because it's just not going to happen. The compromise isn't going to happen. It's not going to happen in the way that it is right now, up to this point, up to the tower, going back there. will never work ever in this lifetime. And it's this understanding. And I feel, Leo, that a lot of you really got in touch with your higher consciousness, became very spiritual. Maybe many of you became very involved in tarot, right? In astrology, in prayer and meditation, in really looking at your belief system, looking at what you believe to be true and relevant to your life, and trying to make sense of what you've been in against that system. Okay? Because I've been getting that a lot of you felt like somebody was just not working within the same moral system as you were. And then the Six of Wands energy in the reverse does indicate a lack of victory and there being a lot of disrespect had. There was a lot of disrespect. Then we have the Eight of Swords energy and the Page of Swords. So this tells me that the cycle couldn't happen because there was too much dishonesty at play here. Now, whether it was you were being dishonest with yourself, they were being dishonest with themselves, there were a lot of lies floating back and forth, whether it was intentional or not, reality was not being honored here. Like truth was not being honored here. And the Eight of Swords in reverse indicates the self-imprisonment idea, right? And in the reverse, though, it does indicate that there was just like a lot of very deep emotion surrounding this. It was a very painful thing that you had to go through, okay? Very deep, painful. So that made sense to me as to why we are not feeling strong for sure and feeling very much in the ego, because it seems like it's more of like self-protection mode is what I feel like for that, more than any sort of you really holding on to your sense of self and what you feel and you need as a way of protecting yourself. And I feel like they're doing the same thing. They're doing the same thing. Let's get some energy on these Lovers here. Yeah. So after having moved away, you definitely at cross purposes with yourself, not sure if you were making the right decision, really sitting, taking a pause, taking a minute, you're being at cross purposes with somebody else, but also with yourself. And we have the Moon energy, and you're just feeling that, someone is just not in touch with themselves. You feeling like this person or this boss or this situation, this person you're dealing with, not in touch with themselves. They are not seeing the reality of what they have done and what they have made you experience with this connection with them. And you putting your foot down saying, if they don't start doing A, B, and C, I am not going to deal with this anymore. Putting conditions, lots of conditions. This is the checklist card, the Four of Cups energy. This is the checklist card. Conditions, conditions, conditions. If they don't call me more, if they don't pay more attention to me, if they don't respect me more, if they don't, start working hard, if they don't. And the problem with this, though, Leo, is that underneath this, there's a scar at play here. There's a scar that's already been formed because of this relationship or because of a past relationship. So is it so much that it's that they don't call and they don't connect with you? Or is it really that makes you feel unvalued and like you don't matter and you require more attention? That's just a mundane example. But it's, it's in your mind, you're staying on the surface with this expectation, and this, these conditions. And I just feel like that's going to create a lot of arguing. It's going to create a lot of arguing, Leo. There's nothing good that's going to come out of that. So you guys are going to end up arguing over what's true, what's not. You're going to think that they're not in touch with themselves, and they're going to think you're not in touch with yourself. And this is even having to do with a career guy. So this is you thinking that your boss, your colleague, your business partner, like, what are they doing? You're thinking like, do they not see what they're doing? But they're thinking the same thing about you. So this creates this Five of Swords energy, which just ends up being messy. And you guys feeling like you're arguing because the other person is the main issue and they're thinking the same thing about you. Or that the discord within the position, they're thinking it's because of you and you're thinking it's because of them. It's a tough energy to navigate for sure. But I feel like this was all there was like a lot of heavy energy leading up to this. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, isn't it life? Isn't it life, Leo? Isn't it life? We have the King of Cups reverse. Shutting down the heart. turning yourself off to the situation, flipping that switch. Queen of Wands, not willing, not feeling the passion you used to feel for the person, not willing to go forward. But then you started to miss them, and this nostalgia seeped in, and you started to think about all of the really great times, and you started to think about all of the potential and possibility that you guys used to feel, and all the dreams that you had, and all of a sudden you got a bug in your bonnet where you really just wanted to have this building with them. Three of Pentacles is a beautiful energy about connection and building. This, I call it the architect card, and it is blessed with the Trinity, right? But with the three. So I feel like this is how we're evolving into the space of the Lovers. There was a missing here, and this desire to kind of like say, all right, you know what? I want to I want to rebuild this with you. There's a rebuilding necessary, but the decks have to be swept clean. And if we're going to bring anything from our past with the Six of Cups energy, we're only bringing the good stuff. All the bad stuff has to stay back there. This is starting brand new and recognizing that it's not going to be easy with the Lover's energy. But if you guys are willing to put the work in, it is a good thing. Now, as far as career goes, I do feel that this is going to be most relevant to those of you with a business partner, that you're going to have a lot of struggles with somebody that you're in connection with for business, but you guys are going to end up figuring things out here, and you're going to end up building. You're going to remember the idea and the vision that you guys had once upon a time. You're going to tap back into that, hold on to that tight, and get rid of the mess after talking about why it happened in the first place, without one-upping each other, you know? Yeah, good stuff. And for those of you in a career, not in a situation with a partner, I do see you certainly getting a new job. You really getting in touch with all the ideas and the intentions that you had for your career and what you wanted for your life, and you're thinking back to, you know, why you even got into something in the first place. So I like that, because you're going to be bringing yourself into a healthier place. Not going to be without work, no lie. No lie. Okay. You see how it is with these cards, Leo. It's tough, because they're heart-shaped. They're so cute with great messages, but they're heart-shaped, so they end up in a circle. And I feel very silly trying to, you know what, whatevs. Let's do a good cut. We'll do a quad cut. Okay. This is for Leos who are in a committed relationship. Committed relationship. Wait, Leo. Don't rush into it. Allow nature to take its course. Wait. Okay. So you're getting that many of you Leos must have something going on within the confine of your relationship that you're needing to make a decision about. Keys on a ring. Any options? Camera, reminiscing, soulmates. Okay, pull some of these. So we have keys on a ring. This is many options, decision, unconventional, string along, one night stand. Then we have camera, reminiscing, keepsake, perception, learning from the past and making memories. And that's a very Six of Cups energy that we just talked about. And then we have soulmate, soul connection, partnership, agreement, soul contract. All right, I have a feeling I know what this is, so let's just pull the cards and see what comes up. Using the Tarot Daniel Elite to clarify this. Relationships. Okay, this is going to give us some backstory to what's been happening here. Page of Swords reverse, Nine of Pentacles reverse, Page of Pentacles reverse, Six of Pentacles reverse, Chariot. a very specific narrative, Leo. If this doesn't resonate, please don't try to make it resonate, guys. Check your other placements for real, okay? Don't try to make this fit. This may not be your read, okay? So what I'm getting here, because this is the narrative of leading up to these crowning energies, we have the Page of Swords reverse, which tells me that in the last cycle of your relationship together, there was some dishonesty. Either it was lying through omission or flat out lies. Somebody was not being straight up with you, or you were not being straight up with them. Then we have the Nine of Pentacles reverse. So this tells me that you guys kind of evolved into a space where there were either one of two things: a lot of money issues with money were a big problem, or there was a deep lack of connection and just feeling like you didn't feel connected enough to this person to actually end up in the space that you wanted for yourself in your life. Because the Pentacles, again, is all about emotional, physical, and mental connection, and it's how we do intimacy, it's how we communicate, it's how we connect within relationship. And you and the Nine is about this ultimate, like, really building and being close to exactly what it is that you want and what you need, really what you need. And this just not happening within this connection. There's this recognition. Now, again, this could be either you feeling this or them feeling this. But regardless, Page of Pentacles is this new cycle is just not going to happen. We have the Page of Swords reverse and the Page of Pentacles in reverse. So we have these two. We have Truth reverse and we have Connection reverse. Okay? And then we also have Six of Pentacles reverse, which is about giving each other what you need, having the support that you need, really having each other's back. You didn't feel like you had your partner's back. Your partner felt like you didn't have their back, or you felt like they didn't have your back, right, at a certain point. And then somebody went off the road. The Chariot reverse is not a good energy. This can be somebody getting some very poor advice, being surrounded by a bunch of, my family would say, a bunch of gacarons, who don't know how to mind their own business, and, feeding your partner's head with a bunch of nonsense, or, this could have been happening to you. This could also be, the Chariot reverse, I always say, is like the car on the country road that goes off the road and ends up down in the middle of the forest in a ditch upside down, going off the path, really making some bad decisions, bad choices. So the Chariot reverse energy is pretty big. I mean, this could have to do with infidelity. This could have to do with gambling. This could have to do with just suddenly like starting to party a lot and just losing themselves with some sort of escapist activities here, And then we have it, especially because we have it next to me. You don't want these two cards next to each other, right? We have the Chariot reverse and we have the Devil energy. So this tells me the Devil energy is some kind of addiction. So this can either be, an addiction has many, many faces, right? This could be alcohol, drugs, sex, food, money, spending, just spending. And it could also be an addiction to low vibrational thinking. Somebody who's just a very negative person and very insecure, and it's a real challenge, to deal with. But there's definitely this negative energy with the Chariot reverse was a huge issue in this connection, huge issue, right? Then we have the Queen of Pentacles who comes in, and there is some sort of enlightenment that goes on here, and it has to do with the Star energy, which is all about forgiveness, blessings and forgiveness. So Leo, I do feel like there came a point where you really tried to very hard forgive this person, or they had to forgive you. Because this was a situation here, people. Like the Chariot reverse and the Devil energy together like this was a situation that you had to deal with in the past, for sure. Okay? And you really were trying to be made to see how... And this is where I'm a little uncomfortable, okay? And I'm trying to leave myself... I mean, this has nothing to do with me. I've like I light, very narrow Leo placement in my chart. But I'm feeling like somebody did this and they were trying to make you understand what it was that they felt like that was lacking in the relationship that made them do this. And in a way, that is actually them trying to place blame on you by trying to get you to see what you weren't doing to make them feel a certain way, using that as an excuse to go off the road. And I do feel like you actually accepting this on some level, even though it deeply bothered you. You know, maybe not 100% accepting what they were saying, but you nonetheless being able to find forgiveness in this, okay? So I am getting that as one understanding very strongly. And for others of you, this can be this person very much understanding that what they did was very wrong, them being incredibly remorseful, incredibly taking 100% ownership of whatever it is that they did that in any way disrespected you, and them asking for forgiveness. And really feeling very connected to you, being very communicative, being very loving in the process. But either way, there was some sort of forgiveness had. There was some sort of forgiveness. As you guys are soulmates, and this was a lesson that had to be learned, because that damn soulmate energy, you know what? It's like, yeah, people say soulmates and twin flames and all that. There's a lot of pain with those people, right? We want red thread energies, Leo. Red thread. Red thread. You guys know that story? It was one of the first videos I did when I first started my channel, when I was like nothing, you know, like nobody was watching me, but it was just like such an important, cool thing that I learned about many years ago in massage therapy school. It was taught to me by this guy, Dr. Jeffrey Ewan, giving a shout out to Dr. Jeffrey Ewan, wonderful guy. I studied herbalism with him a million years ago. And he's the one who taught me about the red thread energy. That it's better than the soulmate energy. It's better than this twin flame stuff that we throw around. It's like an invisible red thread that's tied to our ankles at birth. And then, you know, energetically we're sent on our own way, right? Spiritually. And if we were back with that person, yeah, we're going to learn lessons. But we learn lessons in this lifetime with them. And we live happily ever flipping after with them. It's not like we have to keep going on this, you know, hamster wheel that we do with the soulmates. You know, and the twin flame stuff. So that's why you don't hear me talking about that stuff too much. But nonetheless, there were lessons learned here. Lessons learned. Lessons learned. Lessons learned. Yeah. Yeah. Well, okay, Leo, I'm just, and this is going to be it. I'm going to tell you where I see it. Because I want to understand, I need to better understand how we got from the devil to the Queen of Pentacles and forgiveness. So, you know, how do we go from that negative energy to forgiveness? So I feel like for many of you, Leo, you went into the hermit mode, either you did or they did. And that was it's a deep mental space of really trying to think about everything that's happened. And then there's an argument happening. And the Seven of Swords energy, Seven of Swords is the card of thievery. And when we put it in conjunction with swords, which is words and truth, this is an idea of bastardizing language and bastardizing what we know to be true. But in the reverse, what it indicates is that this fight was primarily having to do with an issue that was about them, more about them than you. Now, obviously, this can be reversed. Okay, it doesn't really matter here, but the idea here is that there was a lot of deflection, there was a lot of gaslighting, there was a lot of just bastardizing of ideas and words, saying that things happened a certain way when they didn't, saying they did things that they didn't do things that they did, you know, just that kind of sort of deflective energies. But you being in a space of just looking at them saying, oh my God, they have no idea what they're doing. Or this could be your partner thinking about you in this way where it's like, all right, you know what, like they don't even see the truth. They really don't. And this puts you into this Four of Swords energy where you had to take a few minutes out and just rest and think about everything that you've been through up to this point and figure out how you're going to now combine all of these past hurts, lessons, everything that's happened into your ability to move forward. But you still have gumption left in you for it. We got the Nine of Wands. The Nine of Wands is still having juice left in you to fight for it. So I feel like that's where you guys are. You're in the space of still kind of trying to work things through. And that's why we have the wait, don't rush into it. Allow nature to take its course. So I feel like a lot of you Leos who are in a committed relationship, you're in a very wait and see kind of space. Very wait and see kind of space. I mean, you know, you are looking at the past, which is why you're still here. You do understand you have this soul contract with this person, which is why you're still here. But I feel like that Chariot reverse and that devil energy had something to do with many options. This poor decision. This one night stands kind of thing. And I don't even feel like the one night stand has to be it's necessarily sexual. It could just be like a gross error in judgment made. Okay, so I want to expand that a little bit for that. All right, Leo committed. That is what I have. Okay. Please don't come after me. Please don't come after. Don't attack the telephone if you don't like what's being said through it. That's what I always say. You know, I have to read what I get. I have to read what I get. All right. Let's pull for Leo's in a complicated situation here. Leo's complicated. Leo's complicated. Twin flame. Oh, for goodness sake. It's just funny because we were just talking about that, right? Twin flame, your passion ignites. Your passion ignites. This is for those of you in a complicated space and whatever that means to you. I'm not going to put the definition on what complicated is. You know? I'm not. I could give a couple of examples. Like, let's say, you know, you're in no contact right now, but you're still in each other's energy field. But it could be a lot more than that. The world is big, and we're all very different. So whatever complicated means to you. All right. Wedding rings. Heart with a key. Cupid's arrow. Wow. All right, Leo. I mean, very positive, delicious energies here, okay? Wedding rings is union, wedding, married, soul connection, eternal love, everlasting promise. That's beautiful. Then we have heart with a key. Welcoming love, opening your heart, getting together, perfect. Then we have Cupid's arrow. Have faith, love is coming, surprise, invitation, or meeting, hesitation. Very positive, no matter how I want to do that. Witch's Tarot. What's the Witch's Tarot? Let's see what kind of backstory we can get. Spirit, what kind of backstory can you give us for Leo complicated? What kind of backstory can we have? Leo complicated. Yeah, okay. I mean, it became complicated because of the Chariot reverse energy. We were just talking about that. That's the car that's gone off the side of the road and ended up upside down in the ditch in the middle of the woods. Getting bad advice, acting inappropriately, not following a strong moral compass. Yeah, I mean, there was a tower. See, this is a tricky energy to have next to each other as well. The Chariot reverse and the Magician. There is a very ego-driven element to this. This feeling that they had the right, or you had the right. And I have to say, because the energies can go either way, this person felt very justified to do what they did, to make what happened happen. They didn't even view themselves at the time as being, you know, as having gone off course. Maybe now they do, but really they don't. And I feel like this created for the other person a very incredible amount of stress, where they were really struggling to kind of get out of their own head. This is the card of self-imprisonment. This is very mental energy, the Eight of Swords. Very mental energy. But this person was definitely, I mean, I feel like there was this lack of connection, first of all. Like, you guys were not, you know, there's no connection here. There's no, somebody is off the beaten path, for sure. Lots of stress. Tower reverse. Lots of emotion, lots of passion with this. Whether it's anger, bitterness, betrayal, whatever it is. There's a lot of passion here. And it's the breaking down of something. You know, but we talked about this before. I mean, the Tower energy is about the breaking down of something that you once believed to be true, but that if everybody's on board, this could certainly be rebuilt. But you have to know that it has to be done completely and 100% differently than it was the last time. And a lot of times it's easier said than done. It really is. It really is. You know, but really, you know what, guys, this is really about if you and this person that you're dealing with, if you guys can each be really dead honest with yourself, like where you've been holding yourselves back from being fully authentic and fully functioning within the relationship, and what stuff you guys are each bringing in your own bags, really looking at that and just dumping everything out, there's no reason why anything can't be rebuilt. You know what I mean? If there's still love there, and that clearly there is, and there's desire, I feel like there is. But this is the backstory. Lots of confusion. Oh. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Good. Yeah, I mean, it's a good outcome. I mean, but this, you know, this tower, what does the tower mean? The tower means there is no willingness, no ability, no shot at continuing in a new cycle with this person in the way that it is. It's just not going to happen. There's a lot of hurt here. Somebody was not acting the right way. And somebody went into shutdown mode really, seriously. And the other person was incredibly, like there was deep anxiety felt on the other side. So whether it was you doing this to somebody else or somebody else doing it to you, that fell apart and it was not going to continue as it was. It wasn't going to continue. Then communication came in. Communication is coming in. If it has not come in already, it's going to come in very quickly. This is going to come in the form of a text, an email, something like that, where there's going to be a lot of quick movement. As soon as that phone call is made, there's going to be kind of this ability to sort of like get back on the wheel, and that's where you guys have to hold on and don't run into anything. The Two of Wands is recognizing that you have the passion and the desire to move forward on this new path. This is understanding that there's a new cycle, but this is really you trying to put your ducks in a row and thinking things through very, very slowly, and you're very hesitant. There's something about this that you don't trust. And you don't trust it because you're not fully in touch with your intuition. You're not fully in touch with your intuition, Leo. You're just not. We get that High Priestess reverse again for you. Okay, so, I mean, that's understandable. When we're really not in touch with our intuition because we're confused and we're working through all of these emotions, it's better to press the pause button and say, okay, hold on, wait, rather than jump into something. And then we're going to have the Four of Pentacles and the Queen of Cups as the outcome. And I like the Four of Pentacles in the upright, actually, because, you know, it really is being very cautiously optimistic, understanding that what you have is here, what you need is here to work with, right? But you're being a little guarded. You're being a little guarded, but you're working with it nonetheless. You are going to be opening up. And the Queen of Cups does indicate that you're going to allow your heart to open up to really, explore and revisit this relationship with this person, you know, and just really kind of opening yourselves up to something brand new through the help of love and faith and a lot of really good solid promises and keeping those promises. But beautiful for those Leos who are in a complicated situation. You know, guys, I wish you guys the best. Leo, happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, whatever you celebrate. Much love to all of you. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.